Hi everyone. I would like to thank you all so much for taking time out of your evening to watch my virtual recital tonight. This has been a unique and fun challenge, not only getting all this music together, but also getting all the video editing and mixing together for the pre-recorded portions of this recital, as well as also getting all the audio and video equipment set up for the live version of this recital for you guys tonight. I'm incredibly excited to present this to you all, and with that being said, the first piece on my program tonight is Symplegades by Leander, Kaiser. Based on a Greek myth, the Symplegades were a group of rocks out in the middle of the sea that would close and crush ships that were trying to pass through. The Argonauts, who were a group of sailors, were told that if a pigeon flew between the rocks and made it without the rocks closing and killing it, the ship would make it as well. If the pigeon didn't, the ship would not make it. When the Argonauts tried doing this, they watched a pigeon fly through the Symplegades. The pigeon was successful until the Symplegades closed last minute, which only caught the pigeon's tail feathers. The Argonauts decided to take the risk and sail through, just like the pigeon. The Symplegades closed last minute as they were passing through, only crushing the helm of their ship. This piece makes use of a few extended techniques on the timpani, such as playing in the center of the drum for a drier sound, cross-sticking, playing with brushes, and other effects using the mallets. I hope you enjoy Symplegades by Leander, Kaiser. My next piece tonight is Slice by Larnell Lewis. Larnell Lewis is one of the drummers for Snarky Puppy, and this piece combines some of his signature techniques that can be heard across all their recordings. Both Larnell Lewis and Snarky Puppy's other drummer, Robert Sput Seawright, use a setup that has 2 snare drums. Their main snare drum is often tuned higher and can function as a high tom drum when they turn the snares off. Their secondary snare is tuned lower and also functions as a low tom drum when they turn the snares off. You can hear the use of these 2 different snare drums across most of Snarky Puppy's music. Larnell Lewis is also known for pitch bending his snare drums while playing them. This is done by playing the drum with one stick and either using the opposite hand to limit the playing space, which makes the drum sound higher, or pushing the end of your stick into the drum head, which also makes it sound higher. This is intended to mimic the multiple snare drums and pitch bending sounds that are often heard in trap music. Finally, Larnell Lewis makes use of his signature reverse hi-hat trick in this piece, which is actually called the slice trick. This reverse hi-hat trick is done by running the shaft of the drumstick from the bottom end of the stick to the tip down the side of the hi-hat, while opening and closing the hi-hat with your foot. This creates an electronic reverse cymbal sound and is used for some very cool effects and transitions in this piece. I hope you enjoy Slice by Larnell Lewis. My next piece tonight is Wind in the Bamboo Grove by Keiko. This piece was composed in 1984 and was among some of the first pieces she composed for the marimba. Abe composed this piece inspired by her memories of visiting a bamboo forest, as the music replicates the sensations of being there. Each section of this piece musically represents a different experience that Abe remembers from the bamboo grove. This piece begins with a cadenza containing very little rhythmic structure and widely spaced chords. This allows the performer to convey the feeling of being in the bamboo grove through their playing. Later on, a more straightforward melodic and harmonic structure is presented along with driving motor rhythms. This piece also makes use of an extended technique where the performer strikes the shafts of the mallets on the edge of the marimba bars instead of the yarn of the mallet. To me, this wood-on-wood sound really conveys the feeling of walking through the bamboo grove. I hope you enjoy Wind in the Bamboo Grove by Keiko. My next piece tonight is Bell Plates by Scott Lindroth. Bell Plates is a piece for multi-percussion with digital audio accompaniment. The instrumentation is interesting as the instruments cover a wide frequency spectrum. This piece calls for 3 tom drums, bongos, 2 cymbals, 3 wood blocks, 4 aluminum pipes, and 4 metal slats that are all graduated in pitch. This piece is dedicated to Paul Lansky, who is known for being one of the first composers to work with a computer for sound synthesis. This dates back to the mid-1960s when he started experimenting with electronic sound. Lansky focused heavily on putting real-world sounds into his electronic music, such as traffic, acoustic instruments, and most notably, speech. As you listen to the electronic accompaniment of this piece, you will hear the use of percussion instruments and voice that were inspired by Paul Lansky's electronic pieces. I hope you enjoy Bell Plates by Scott Lindroth. My next piece is the Prelude to Johann Sebastian Bach's Fourth Cello Suite in E-flat major. The first half of this piece contains only arpeggiated chords in a continuous eighth note flow. This highlights a beautiful and rich chord progression with a clear underlying sense of bass movement. The second half of this piece has some more melodic movement and includes some cadenza-like sections that allow more room for the performer to interpret and express it in their own way. I hope you enjoy the Prelude to Bach's Fourth Cello Suite. My next piece tonight is An Hour of Change by Shaun Tilburg. This piece samples President John F. Kennedy's space race speech from September 2nd, 1962. In this speech, he talks about America's advances in technology and how that will ultimately allow us to go to space and land on the moon. However, he warns that the greater knowledge that we have in America, the greater ignorance we have. Throughout this piece, the performer follows the excerpts from the speech and plays it on the snare drum with sticks and brushes. While there are notated rhythms, they are intended to be played very loosely and more in line with the cadence of John F. Kennedy's speech. I hope you enjoy An Hour of Change by Shaun Tilburg.
Scientists, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to be here, and I'm particularly delighted to be here on this occasion. We meet in a city noted for progress, in a state noted for strength. For we meet in an hour of change and challenge, in a decade of hope and fear, in an age of both knowledge and ignorance, The vast stretches of the unknown and the unanswered and the unfinished still far outstrip our collective comprehension. No man can fully grasp how far and how fast we have come. We will have literally reached the stars before midnight tonight. This is a breathtaking pace, and such a pace cannot help but create new ills as it dispels old. New ignorance, new problems, new dangers. New ignorance, new problems, new dangers. New ignorance, new problems, new dangers, new dangers. Surely the opening vistas of space promise high costs and hardships, as well as high reward. So it is not surprising that some would have us stay where we are. This country of the United States was not built by those who waited and rested. This country of the United States was not built by those who waited and rested. This country of the United States was not built by those who waited and rested, 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 and rested. This country of the United States, this country of the United States, this country of the United States was not built by those who waited and rested, waited and rested, waited and rested, waited and rested, and rested, and rested. This country of the United States, this country of the United States. Man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred. The exploration of space will go ahead, whether we join in it or not. And it is one of the great adventures of all time. And this generation does not intend to founder in the backwash of the coming age of space. We mean to be a part of it. We mean to lead 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 it. because they are easy, but because they are hard.
So for the final piece tonight, we will be playing African Marketplace by Abdullah Ibrahim, arranged by Stensgaard. And we will be joined by Duncan Kofel on alto saxophone and Jack Muchler on cowbell. But before we play this piece, I would love to say a few thank yous to some people. First and foremost, I would like to thank my parents and my brother, as well as the rest of my family, such as my grandparents, aunts, and uncles. Everybody for such your tremendous support that you've shown throughout the years of me being here at UWSP. I always appreciated every wind ensemble concert, jazz band, and percussion ensemble concert, seeing my parents here come from Wausau to watch me, and I really appreciate that. It means the world to me. Next, I would like to thank my percussion professor, Dr. Brian Baldoff, for being such an incredible percussion teacher and mentor to me for these past few years. I'd also like to thank him for giving me or helping me actually set up and get a lot of these recordings going here for this recital. We spent a couple weekends over the past few weeks recording, and then he would sit behind the computer and help set the levels, and he would set up the microphones and the lights for me so it all looks good. And so I appreciate all the extra time that he took out of his day to help me with these recordings. Next, I would actually like to thank Duncan and Jack for being on the recital tonight. Me and Duncan have been talking about doing this piece for the past 4 years now. We've been kind of talking about it on and off, and we're finally getting to put this together for my recital tonight, and I'm so excited to do this. Next, I'd like to thank Jack for playing, and actually Jack's been doing a lot of the behind-the-scenes work tonight with getting the video switcher going and making sure there's smooth transitions in between videos. And then also just helping keep the levels pretty normal for all the volumes, so it doesn't overload or anything. So I want to thank Jack for doing that tonight as well. I'd also like to thank the faculty here at UWSP for being incredibly supportive of me for the past couple years that I've been here. I feel like I could go and ask any professor any question, and I did not feel afraid to do so, and I'm just grateful that I have had so much support here at UWSP, and it makes me proud to go here. Finally, I would like to thank all of you watching. I would like to thank all my family, all my friends, whether you're in Stevens Point, Wausau, or any other part of the state. I would like to thank you all for taking time out of your night to watch my recital and actually make it this far in the recital. I know with the fact that it's streaming online and the fact that the semester is getting a little crazy and the times are crazy right now, you probably have a lot more things going on, and I appreciate you taking time out of your night to all come and support me, and it means the world to me. So with that being said, we are going to play our final piece for tonight, African Marketplace by Abdullah Ibrahim, arranged by Stensgaard. African Marketplace was originally recorded and released in 1979 by Abdullah Ibrahim, who went by the stage name Dollar Brand at the time. This piece was released on the album of the same name, in which the album is meant to tell the story of Abdullah Ibrahim's life growing up in South Africa. This is done through the performance of 8 folk-like original pieces, and one of those is African Marketplace. In 2000, Stensgaard arranged a new version of this piece. Instead of using the multiple woodwinds and brass players on the original recording, he has one alto saxophone player play the melody and a marimba accompaniment, which is something that wasn't in the original recording. And then while we were rehearsing this piece a few weeks in, Duncan actually suggested that we add a cowbell into this piece. And I thought that was a great idea because we heard some recordings utilize that. And so we actually asked Jack to play cowbell with us. And so thank you, Jack, for doing that. And then on top of that, Duncan and I will be briefly trading 8-bar solos back and forth. I hope you enjoy African Marketplace by Abdullah Ibrahim. I again thank you for listening to my recital tonight. We are just going to take just a couple of seconds to transition into this piece and get Duncan and Jack up on stage. But thank you and have a good night.